This is unsponsored, unbiased review of Quechua Rooftop Tent MH500. There are like 5-6 reviews on YouTube right now, which I saw when choosing this one. And I'm not gonna repeat all the stuff that they said, just the stuff that I didn't find in them that were relevant for me. So first of all is that yes, this tent fits 2 wing bars. It was a big issue for me. I couldn't find information anywhere. And it actually fits them quite well with a room to spare. The biggest advantage of this tent is how fast it can be set up. You can set it up with 2 people in like 2 minutes, and if you're alone it takes like 2 minutes 30. First of all, the cover itself. It fits well. It protects the tent from the weather well. We were driving through like really bad weather and nothing got inside. The only problem that I found with this cover is that when you open it and it rains, the rain gets inside. And we are mitigating that by folding the cover in half. And it works surprisingly well. The inside of the cover stays dry. The wind doesn't smash it around. The other thing I was worried about when choosing this tent was what's gonna happen if we fold it when it rains and we fold the wet tent. And apparently it was engineered well enough so when you fold a wet tent like we had, it actually doesn't get any water inside. It just folds on itself and everything stays dry inside. This is the only tent in which those side, I don't know how to call them, covers, roofs, fold on their own. In the other models you need to put the springy thingies out yourself, so it takes quite more time. And this was one of the things that I considered when choosing tent. It was how fast you can fold it, how fast you can unfold it. And it actually played a big role on our trip. The other thing that I couldn't find any info about was that the side windows actually don't open. The mosquito net in them is permanent. You can only cover it from the elements. And it was quite a big deal for me because we wanted to travel with our dog. And my main idea to get her upstairs was to teach her to jump on the hood and walk up to the side window and get inside whenever she wanted to get in or out. This is obviously not possible, so the only solution right now we have for her to walk up is to get her on my hands, which she doesn't like a lot, and up the ladder. She doesn't like walking up the ladder, but actually when she's inside, she's quite happy. Quite happy doggo.
Chcesz coś powiedzieć? Kruza.
The roof itself comes with everything you need. Actually, the shoe pocket which you hang outside is well thought through. We had a couple of rough nights with bad weather and we left our shoes outside and they stayed right without any problem. So the material is good, it's waterproof, and then it's sewn in a way that it's actually a net down below, so everything dries out. Inside of the tent is actually quite spacious. We're gonna show that to you in a second. But I wanted to talk about the biggest problem I have with this tent is that actually the flaps on the doors, which are covering the mosquito net, don't close all the way around. They have zippers on the side and just a velcro in the middle. And this played a huge role when we parked in a really windy spot on top of the mountain one night, and in the middle of the night the weather got really bad and the wind was pushing cold wet air inside. The structure of the tent is aluminum, so it got cold. The water condensed on the structure, and as it just so happens, it is exactly over your face when you sleep. So all the night it was dripping on our faces. So this is something that needs to be solved on your own if you consider this tent. I think like just a quick solution might be just a tape, the gaffer tape, to close it down whenever you know you park in windy conditions. This is quite a deal breaker for me, because the idea of this tent is that you get into a really nice spot and you get the views outside. And usually a nice spot with a nice view is either up in the mountain when it's windy, or it's just next to coast of the sea or a lake, whether it's windy because it's water. The same issue is with the side panels. Maybe I'll close this one. They have zippers only on the side, and I get it that this is the design to leave the ventilation, so you don't close yourself in the human gas chamber. But I would rather have the flexibility to close it on one side and open on the other than fight with the wind in the night. We just put some of our jackets to close it down, and it didn't really work so well. So there is some DIY to be done here to close that off. I'm a big guy, 190 or 6'4" in your imperial types, and I slept like a baby here. The mattress is nice, it's stiff enough, it doesn't move in the night. And there are some roof windows over here, but you need to take the top tent off for that, and we didn't have the opportunity on our trip to do that because it was all rainy. And that is actually a good thing I had to say about this tent, that it never got wet inside. We had really rough conditions and it stayed dry, apart from a bit of condensation where our heads were, but that's to be expected in temperatures down below 10 degrees Celsius. There has to be some condensation. On the topic of condensation, I can recommend to get with the tent the anti-condensation layer down below. We had some of the rain got in because those overhangs over the entrances doesn't go that far, and then also the entrance to the tent get a bit wet at the bottom. When you hang it up, it drips down, so you cannot get like fully dry in here, and the mattress stayed dry, and it never smelled bad in here. The pockets are well thought through, they're in a nice place, they're big, they're spacious, and then again you have so much space inside this tent that you can leave things around and it doesn't bother you when you sleep. We were sleeping here, two of us, with this cute little lady, and she needs a lot of space because she's spoiled like that, and we never had the issue with that.
I was more of a consumer of the tent rather than a researcher, so I can give you a perspective of someone who doesn't know anything about tents, and I was quite pleased with how fast we were able to put it up, and it was really important for us because sometimes when we woke up it was raining and the temperature was low, so being able to fold up and move away quickly to a safer area and more drier area was very important. And the other thing that I can tell you is that I get cold quite easily. And despite us traveling in late September in Norway, in temperatures often approaching 0 or low single digits in the night, I was comfortable in the tent, in the sleeping bag. Sometimes we also covered ourselves with a blanket, and I was comfortable enough to be able to sleep through the night. The other thing that I enjoyed a lot is the fact that we could leave the sleeping bag and the blanket inside the tent for the night, because traveling with the dog, we didn't have a lot of space inside of the car because she takes up 3/4 of the back seat. The other thing that I really enjoyed is the fact that this tent allowed us to really enjoy the views while being covered in blankets and in sleeping bags in low temperatures, because it has big windows that allow you to look at the views while lounging in a tent. Obviously, our dog also loved sleeping here, as you can see. It took her several minutes, but she's already in full REM sleep. A little pause.
The tent is made with this famous Decathlon's fresh and black material, which some people love because it darkens inside. For me personally, especially in the cold weather, when you want the tent to be closed as much as possible, it was a disadvantage because I like to know that we are in the morning without looking at my at my watch. So your mileage might vary. You might love that solution, you might hate that solution. We yet to have to check how it's gonna be in the warmer climates, because then you obviously want to leave the sides open for more air, and then you lose all the benefits of the fresh and black. So let's see how it works.
I personally like that it was dark.
Then again, your mileage may vary. You need to do your own research for what you need from the tent. For me, it was quite annoying that I woke up and I had no idea if it's already sun outside or not. I had to open the side window and then let all the cold air inside, and she was whining that it's cold. One final thought is that the material that the mattress is sewn in is actually not quite nice. It's gonna be durable. You can see that it's gonna be durable and easy to wash, but it's not nice to lie on. So we just bought a simple bed sheet, but you might consider wanting the dedicated Decathlon sheet. I never even seen that in real life, so I cannot say anything about that. It's just something to consider as well.